Hello everyone, I'm Overhaul, and today we're gonna be doing our My Academia manga volume 19 review. The usual disclaimer at the beginning of the video. I am not a kid specific channel. Kids can watch them, but I would like to warn them that the words I'll be saying are a little more mature than they can listen, or at least a little more mature than you would, expect them for them to expect to hear. So, saying straight up, if you're a kid and you do not want to hear naughty words, I'm sorry, it's a very good chance that you will hear it from me. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's get into this review. So some of you may ask why did I decide to review volume 19 of My Academia first and not volume 1? Well, besides from the fact that I don't have volume 1 yet, it's just this was the first volume that I ever bought, so there's some nostalgia if the words are correct. So yeah. And also the best girl Jiro is on the cover. As well as Momo, so yeah, I think we can always guess why. So let's go with a summary. The main story of this volume is pretty much this. The UA is going to have a school festival where they're gonna have these classes are gonna have some kind of show or something to perform, or just something in the lines to entertain the other students. And teachers, in fact, also. So they prepare. Since of the current times, it's a little more, not like the nicest, with like even the smallest of offenses, there possibly being a huge damage to the Hero Society, even more than it already is. They decide to be extremely strict with their stuff, with their security. Unfortunately, one criminal, gentle criminal, is trying to break in to get a name for himself in the world. If that's gonna be found out, it will ruin the entire festival even before anyone could even start it. So that's pretty much it with the summary. Now, there are some people who are not very big fans of the story because they feel like it's a little too school focused, which I have to disagree. It's not that school focused because we do get Gentle Criminal and he is an outside source, and we do still get some references to the whole Overhaul arc. So it's not. So it still gets that. And we do end the volume with a battle between Izuku and Gentle. So you cannot say that, it's straight up just no fight at all. We do get that, but it's more the end. So, yeah, that's something to keep in mind. The thing that I like the most in this volume specifically is the fact that we for once get some focus on some other students from class 1A instead of just like the main core, because usually they like grab the main core and then maybe they switch 2 or 3, or maybe they just remove a couple. They don't really change it that much. But in this one, it's just Izuku, Jiro, and maybe some Mina and Bakugo action in, which I am liking, because again, you're best girl. Now, another thing that you have to kind of appreciate and like is the fact that we actually do address the whole area issue. Because let's think about this. Eri lived with a guy who was literally killing her over and over and over again. Why the heck would that girl just completely get over it? Like really, why the heck would she just completely get over it? And how exactly is going to have a villain, seeing Zuko fight a villain would help? It won't. It really won't. So it is nice to see that. And I think that's more of a not really a good thing in the idea. It's maybe an okay. is the fact that the side characters, like the doctors, they're actually shown to be incapable and intelligent. Because, let's be real here, a lot of times in series, people just have their side characters, most just be idiots until someone who with a name recognition shows up and does something. Like in that horrible TV show Batwoman, where a trained doctor is unable to spot a wound that apparently a woman that's only who is still studying the medicine not saw. Oh my god, that's horrible. But anyways, yeah. It is nice to see some of the background characters also doing stuff. As for in between the chapter panels, I like Gentle and Brava's pages. I also like the whole little airy page where her like with her clothing and like the little joke. It's a pretty entertaining part. As for the whole class, so 3 is it G? What second is? I can't remember, but the support course, I don't really care for her. And yeah, that's pretty much when it comes to the whole site in between pages. Now, now let's talk about some of the characters and the characters in the story. Let's start with Yorama since the first chapter, although it's not really focused on it entirely, it is like a part. So, Ariyama's story is basically how he admits to, like, yeah, the whole my quirk, Izuku, and yours are pretty similar because I'm unable to handle that like you cannot handle your quirk. Which is a nice seeing for us all because we always gotta wonder, like, okay, what exactly is the deal with Oyama? And we got some brief things from him later or earlier, but it's nice to actually see where he stands because up until this chapter, it was pretty much ambiguous. Like, is he this traitor? Is he a spy? What exactly is going on with him? So it's nice that we get to see exactly what it's supposed to mean. So yeah. Then let's also give a brief side mention of Kirishima, who is at the beginning a bit like, should we really be having these these festivals in this time? I mean, there's so many villains. I mean, we saw the Overhaul arc, and that was just like early on. Like, who knows how many other unbelievably powerful gangs are, which may not entirely be untrue, considering the fact that even outside the Paranormal Liberation Front, there might be someone supplying some very important dangerous drugs. So, yeah, it makes sense. It's still mentioning the whole overhaul situation. They're not just like glossing over it, which is good. Good. But Aizawa explains to him that, yeah, it may not seem to be the most logical thing to do right now, but the UA is not just made for a hero course. Like, there are other courses, and you know, the whole dorm room and everything that's going on in the world is pretty stressful, so try to relieve that makes sense. Now, even Principal Nezumi mentions it later to the, I don't know, CAO or whatever they're called, I know they are the ones who are Hero Safety Commission or whatever, explain to them, yeah, everything that's going on is bad and we need to be worried, but not giving the students this will not make things better. Which is nice to see that there are still people are mentioning events and thinking about the future. So that's nice. Now to the real bulk of the characters. Let's start with Izuku. So in this one, I feel like it's more supposed to give us kind of like the flashbacks to when Izuku was training with All Might, because we see him train, I believe, at least in 2 chapters. We get find out some information, which makes sense. They are preparing for the festival, but it does also make sense we're talking about All For 1-4, because in other arcs, it's gonna be kind of hard to do that. Like, I don't think exactly the My Villa Academia arc would make much sense to cut to Izuku training. So yeah, it's nice we get to see a little training. We also get to see Izuku's personality a little more, reminding us, because let's be real, in the last couple of arcs we didn't really get that. So it's nice to see that. I kind of like to see how he's kind of developing his fighting style and moveset. I would honestly say it still feels like a little too slow, because the whole long range attack seems to be like one of the things I would say Izuku should have learned before volume 12, I would say. But it makes sense. I guess it's more of a slow and steady with the race whole thing. But yeah, we get some development and we get to see the fight, which I will talk about the fight later, but needless to say, Izuku is a pretty dominant character, but it's not. But I'm not going exactly to say that he is the main focus on the story in this part of the arc. Then let's talk about Bakugo. Bakugo has very little characterization in this, but the things that we do get from him are major ones. For example, he sees how the students are thinking about you, Class 1A, which is nice, and we actually see what other students are thinking of everything that's going on. They're like blaming Class 1A and saying they are arrogant. And they have a problem because to them, Class 1A is always at the fault. I mean, the USJ incident, they were the center. Then at the forward training camp, not only they were there, but they were also, one of their class members was the one they want to kidnap. Or they kidnapped. And another one, I'm not sure if the whole information about Tokoyami also trying to be captured came out in the public, but yeah, people don't really like Class 1A. So Bakugo explains that, alright, if I'm gonna be performing, I'm not gonna be performing so I can make them not happier, so I can make them feel more comfy. I'm gonna perform because I wanna kill them with my sound. So it's nice to see him be developed a little more as a hero instead of just being the I wanna take down the bad guy character, which is nice since, well, that's pretty much because his communication is the thing that he lacks severely as a hero. I mean, that's literally why he failed the training license exam. So that's nice. So now let's talk about the main star of the arc, let's be real here, and that's Jiro. I really like it, her characterization. I like how we are referencing the whole, I actually do have a hobby in music and I do play it well and I can even teach you very well, but I don't really kind of feel comfortable with that. And we get some nice moments where she's the one flustered, because usually she's the more like kind of the background punk rock, like the stoic type. She's not really the more comical, quiet type, if you know what I mean. So it's nice that we see that aspect. It's also nice to see that she wants to perform extremely well. I mean, to her it may seem useless and may not really be the most comfortable with it, but she still loves it and she still wants to make it work extremely well. I will say that I wish she would have a little more of a presence in the combat area so we could also see her a little more in action. Because it's nice that we see her hobby, it's nice to see how they are focusing on Jiro. Hell, I could totally imagine Jiro being the Wash hero in the future. In honesty, when you read this arc, I mean, they literally say that the number 8 hero Wash is supposed to be very big on the clean commercials. Well, Jiro could be very big on the performance. I mean, I don't believe there was any hero that was ever said to be a rock star. So hell, maybe when she's a pro hero, she'll be like one of the major entertainers, like the My Mask from My Academia World. I mean, from what we've seen, the hero agents, well, is it the hero agency? I'm confusing. Anyway, the heroes don't really seem to have the main draw for the people. I mean, they have symbols who can take down every villain who they rely on, but as for someone to keep the people at calm, at ease, they don't have that. And as I can see, this are kind of focusing on this aspect of Jiro, and it can be ballooned later in like her becoming one of the best. Hell, she takes her hero work seriously. Hell, she even states that to her it's a hobby. She wants to focus more on the hero work. If her hobby was a little more rooted in hero work, she would be more interested in it. But since it's not as much as some others as she stated, which later they do explain to her that her hobby is very great hero work. Her work, she would basically take it seriously more. And now she sees it and she works on it. I believe in the Ultra Analysis Data book, her love is somewhere between her love for rock and roll or love for music is 5 out of 5 or 6 out of 5. So yeah, she really is talented. I mean, we love it. How at the end of the volume, we even get her asking Izuku, "Hey, can you give me some Can you give me some advice on how you take notes? Because I kind of wanna, because I wrote down everything that they would need improvements on and things they would most likely end up. So would you give that? So could you help me with that? So yeah, I really like it, that aspect. Again, I would not be surprised if this whole rock and roll aesthetic will lead to Jiro being in top 10 because of it. I mean, used later, like in that type of way. I mean, after all, Hikoshi shows us there's more to being a hero than just, being the strongest, being the best at combat. And although Mina is also a very character you could say is like that, but she's more personality and not really entertainment as much as Jiro, because Mina, she's an amazing dancer, she can teach as well as she can. And yes, we get some Kirishima shipping moments, like we get some Kaminari and, Koda shipping moments. Huh. I don't know why Jiro is the one that gets 2 ships that could work as well. Yeah, anyways, that's where so that's pretty much Jiro for now. I will talk more about her, but if there's anything more to talk about, I will definitely talk about in the next volume. Well, I'm not gonna be reviewing volume 20 of My Academia in the next. The next ones are gonna be volumes 1 of One Punch Man or Soul Eater. Probably One Punch Man. So yeah, this is pretty much with the heroes. Now let's talk about the villains. Gentle Criminal and La Brava. I really like Gentle Criminal La Brava, even though the backstory has yet to be completely explained. In fact, all we get in this volume so far is, Gentle Criminal started the whole thing, and La Brava came in later as his number 1 fan and came to help. So, yeah. And we also see a little comedy and loving moments. Like, it's very clear these two aren't like Overhaul or Tomoshigaki, like oh shit type of villain. They're more subtle. They're more like fun people you want to be around. Like, you can totally imagine yourself kind of like sitting back and like talking to the two and, just being chill. They're not over the top or as insane intense as the other ones. Which is nice since because later when we find out about them, they are basically have those kind of, the message with them is pretty much similar enough to stay Tomoshigaki, but they're not the extreme violent types. They're more the comical. They're more comical, more friendly, those types. If they were the League of Legends, they would definitely be more like Twice than Tomo. So they're very fun. I like Gentle's quirk, elasticity, since it's a very unique way. I also like how there's this showing that Gentle is not very that competent, like when he would like pour tea in the cup so he can drink, he'll be a little incompetent. He'll like burn himself, or it'll be completely spit around. And the whole thing with him the joke with like saying, "Oh, I can take down two major heroes." Then three or four, two more show up, and he's like, "Oh, shit." And I also like Labava's kind of like she's so, "Oh, Jento is so amazing. How dare those people?" And Jento, you can, I mean, like I like it how Labava is that kind of adult. Like she's in her early 20s, I believe 21. In fact, let me check just a quick little bit. Uh, yeah, found that. Yep, she is 21. So yeah, it's very nice to see it, and they are pretty chill villains. And for like in this type of arc, I feel like they work extremely well since they're not really connected to the whole amazing huge story threats around it. Like they will appear later. It's just they're not gonna be like I don't know, like all for a while or stay or those types. They're just gonna be more like, maybe they're gonna appear as the extra amount of backup or something. I don't want to spoil too much, but I think Senna is alright. Now let's talk about some of the bad parts of the volume, since, let's be real here, there's not a single goddamn story that's perfect. In every goddamn story, you can find something to nitpick. Or hell, if you're a Ruby, you can be nitpicking every goddamn single part. So yeah, let's talk about some of the problems I do have with the story. Okay. My first problem is the fact that, well, Izuku's battle with Gento, as great as it is, animated and drawn, I think it should have contained Jiro more. Like, I do. Like, this is kind of like the Jiro focus arc, and we should really kind of get, like, at least a sense of her combat. And also, as much as I know how big of a feature Izuku is on the whole play stage and all, which makes sense, you would think, I feel like there would be a little more suspense if Jiro was there as well. Let's remember, the show can technically still go on if Izuku is not there. Like, the performance is gonna be completely ruined. But if Jiro is not there, then we get the problem. So I think it would be kind of nice to like see Izuku and Jiro kind of like teaming up against Gento and Brava, and for the later message that we get in the next volume, it would, I feel like, also be that to see some other students like hearing it and thinking about it. So yeah, I think it would be nice to have Jiro good some way. How at least to us to see the base minimum of a like complete fight with no weaponry, since Jiro kind of relies on equipment to fight. And how Labava could also be a little more skilled. Or how Jato and Labava might find a way so she can fight as well. I mean, also it would kind of help to like get the idea of how make Jato look a little more powerful, since he is legitimately a little powerful. I mean, also the whole thing that Zuko defeated a villain who managed to what seemed to be easily defeat 4 heroes. Although they might be psychics, but it's kind of hard to tell. I will say they're heroes on his own. I feel that would be kind of not bad to see. Another problem I would especially say is that, well, the whole introduction of some of the big names of the villains is not as the whole scary as you think they would be. Like, we get introduced to like the 3 biggest criminals, but it's pretty much just Gento saying, "Oh, those 3 came into World of Fame." But yet, the Man of Human Revolutionary Commander has never been mentioned to this point. and the whole thing comes up later. As for that Ojiri guy, that guy doesn't even feel like he should be there. Like, I mean, I get what they're doing. Like, he should go through the names of people who make their marks in history, like All Man Crimson Riot, and I believe a guy named Brave, which, yeah, that's a bit weird. That Brave guy, like, Hiroshi reveals like what seems to be like the people that are like All Might, Crimson Riot, and this other guy, but he's like, I mean, we don't even see him now. In the heroes, it's pure blank and speech bubbles. While in the bottom, when we get the Man of Human Liberation Army Commander, All For One, and that Ujiri guy, we will see those three, but not the heroes. Bit weird. So yeah, that's pretty much my only complaints about it. And again, I like most of the jokes. I mean, apart from the Monoma jokes, but that's mostly because I just don't like Monoma. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you think about this volume? Do you have any suggestions how I should improve this? Because this was pretty much just my first test. I'm definitely trying to improve them. So yeah, with that said, I hope you like this video. I hope you're going to leave a like and subscribe to my channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all people next time. Bye.